So
Wow. I've heard a lot of people say that crypto, and I think of this in particular when it comes to Black people, but when it comes to people that are socioeconomically struggling, that crypto and blockchain is potentially the great leveler. And there seems to be a strong movement to kind of get into crypto, and it's going to be a way of leveling the playing field financially. What are your thoughts on that, Reggie?
crypto is a technology. And so it in of itself, technology in and of itself doesn't really make any changes. So the technology is not going to level the playing field, just like the technology is not going to put a company out of business or cause another company to blow up. Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are not going to make a change.
Mm.
But if you recognize that you can change your business model, right? You can go against the monoliths who control the world. And what it tells you is you rewrite the rules of the game.
Yeah.
You can play Monopoly, but you get $600,000 Monopoly money up front. You never have to pass go. By rewriting the rules, you can now take out the people who control the game. The technology itself, it's like putting computer chips on the ground. What are you going to do with them?
I
They could
love
be the
that.
best computer chips and the fastest. You have to know how to use them and know how you can use those computer chips to beat the IBMs of the world.
Yeah.
So when Black people get the cryptocurrency, it's like picking up a bunch of computer chips.
Yeah.
You have to know what to do with it
Yep.
and how you can change the game with it.
So from that perspective, it's not so much that cryptocurrency is going to help the Black community. What I think cryptocurrency does is give the Black community the opportunity to get involved and to learn about technology and find out how they can benefit, how they can leverage that technology to create something for themselves. That's what I think it does.
At the end of the day, it's the same story as before crypto, before phones and computers, before water, for artificially running water, steam, fire. It's knowledge, right? Knowledge is always going to be what makes a difference. Knowledge and drive.
Yeah.
Those two combined.
Vision, would you say
Yeah.
vision as well? Because I know you talk about groupthink and you spoke earlier about seeing what's there. Is it
Right.
also a case of seeing what can be there, but sort of having a different perspective on it?
I think seeing what's there versus what can't be there is a subset of knowledge. If you know that you look at things incorrectly, you do something about it. If you know everybody else looks at things incorrectly, you take advantage of it. That's a subset of knowledge. Knowledge is king. I'm a hip hop guy. KRS, knowledge reigns supreme.
Mm-hmm.
The fact. So you take knowledge and you combine it with the tools that allow you to manipulate the weaknesses of others, and you have winners. You take ignorance or a lack of knowledge, you combine that with a lack of access to tools, you have failure. And that's how the world works.
Hmm. How do we gain that knowledge, in your opinion?
You learn, you absorb as much as you can, and you have to be able to differentiate the BS from the real stuff. Okay. Part of that is being cognizant of where you're getting knowledge from. You cannot go through a bunch of news articles and say you're educating yourself. What you're doing is you're imbibing, right, what someone is putting out. Here's a way of looking at it. You can't just run down, you know, Piccadilly Circus, right, and eat everything that's there and say, I am now nourished. No, you may be full because you ate everything you saw there. But if it happens to be McDonald's, and I have no respect for McDonald's, so I don't really care. They don't like it, right? And respect from a cash flow business perspective, yes. Actual nutrition, straight trash and poison. Okay. So if you eat a bunch of that and a bunch of fried chicken, this and that, you have not nourished yourself. You simply ate what was being pushed to you. Where if you go and decide to step right outside of London proper to actual farm and eat off of that, you have now chosen what you imbibe versus imbibing what was pushed down your throat.
Yep.
Okay. Now you just have to learn, right, where are the credible sources of information or not. If you have absolutely no idea from the beginning, then sample it, test it, check the source out. The best way to start is to learn for conflicts of interest. Okay, someone is pushing information towards you, find out where their financial economic interests lie. And capitalist society, that's the number one indicator, right? Number one, not the only, the number one indicator of how trustworthy that information is.
Mm.
Wine is good for you. You hear that wine is good for you. Well, that's positive. And I like to drink wine, right? Confirmation bias there, number one. But number two, who's paying for these wine is good for you ads?
Yep.
Okay. Is it the Grape and Wine Growers Association of America?
Mhm.
Well, you understand what I mean?